This is an FIU Composer 2.0 help video. The main topic is the person, and this specific video is about poses. So we're just going to open up Composer here, which will take a second. All right, and let's check. I'm going to actually create a new scene, just so you can see that we're doing this from scratch. All right, I'm going to add a person piece, who I will leave named by default as person. And I'm also going to add a headlight so we can see what we're doing. Okay. And we'll set up the person in the working set and take a look at their manipulations. So there are a lot of manipulations on the person. There's the SRT, full body, stance, torso, left arm, right arm, head, and neck. And there'll be other videos that go into all of these manipulations individually. But what I want to introduce you to at a top level, sort of a thing that goes across all of these, many of these manipulations, is the concept of poses. Okay? Poses within Composer are separate assets. They're separate from scenes, and they're meant to be sort of mixed and matched and used to make your workflow faster. So we'll start just on the full body manipulation, which really, it lets you tumble and see what's going on, but its main purpose is actually this little window at the bottom that you can open up, which is the pose window for the full body, which you can get at with the P key, or you can just tap it. And you get this little pose window, which lets you manage poses for this person. Okay, we have three options. We have load, save, and manage. And we'll just go into manage first, just so you can see what's going on. It's going to be your standard sort of database manager. We have to pick which project we want to work in. Now, for poses, I like to work out of the local library, which is a type of a project I suggest you create, just sort of keep global sort of poses and things that really sort of help you work in a generic sense that don't necessarily belong to a specific project. And what I mean by that is, if I go into my local library, it'll give me a listing of some of the full body poses that I've saved into that local library. And I've got sit in chair, I've got walking pass, and I have T-pose. These are sort of generic names of some very generic poses that have applications to all kinds of projects and scenes. And so, I keep them here because they're not project specific. So let's just load the sit-in chair pose. I'll just tap on it, and there's one version of that, so I'll just grab it. Oh, sorry, and I'm in the manager, so actually this is a place for me to sort of create these and manage them and delete them. So actually, let me get out of here. Let's actually hit the load button and actually attempt to load a pose. I'm supposed to use the manager, which is similar to the other database managers. We'll go into local library and sit in chair, and we'll grab that version. And it loads up that pose on this character. Okay. Then let's go back and load walking pass. And you get a nice, a nice walking pass pose that I saved earlier. Maybe it's not so nice. Maybe it's really quick. And then go back to the local library again, and I'll just grab the T-pose, which is the basic T-pose that all characters come in with. Just as an easy way to reset a character, I save that off, so that's always available. Okay, that's the full body pose, and if that were the only component of poses, that would actually be pretty cool, and it would be a good way to sort of get your workflow faster, because you have a big library of just full body poses of that's useful for sort of grabbing people and setting them in the pose and then moving them in the right place, and you could actually storyboard pretty quickly. But there's another level to poses, which is what I refer to as partial poses, but it's still just the pose system. And the best way to take a look at this is we'll just go into the head and neck manipulation, which this allows you to pose the head and neck, but what I want to focus on is just the pose button at the bottom, which is similar to the previous one. This is one that says pose head and neck. And it's the same window, right? Load, save, and manage. But let's see what happens when we just start loading stuff out of the local library for the head and neck. Now, first of all, you notice it's a different set of poses because it keeps them separate. The full body poses are for applying to the full body. This is just the poses for just applying to the head and neck. And I've saved off 5 of them. I've saved up, left, forward, right, and down. So let's just grab up. And if you take a look, what it's done is it's just loaded just the head and neck pose for looking up. but it's left the rest of him alone. He's still standing in a T pose. His arms are still out, and he's, still standing straight up. And just to sort of prove this to you, we can go back to the full body pose. I can load, say, off the local library. I can grab the sit and chair pose, which is a full body pose, so it includes his head and neck. Then I can go back into head and neck, and now grab just a modified head and neck. Let's say we'll grab right this time, and now he turns his head to the right. Okay. So I've got all the basic head directions in here. So maybe I've saved myself from never really having to pose the head and neck ever again, because maybe those 5 sort of cover everything that I would want to do in a generic sense. Or maybe but really eye lines are tricky. So I might start by loading these and then tweak them. But every one of these other manipulations, this is the right arm, has a little pose button for it, pose right arm, where you can load in and save out poses for just that part of the character. And so you can sort of overlay these over one another. So, for example, I've got 2 saved to the right arm. I've got hang at side, which if I load that up, his arm then sort of hangs from the side. And then I've got another one in here, which is swing past 1, which is probably going to be just subtly different. It's more for walking, where the arm looks like it's bent and it's sort of midway swinging. But let's do another one right now. Let's just take this and modify it. We'll get into how to do this stuff in a different video, but how to really manipulate arms particularly effectively. So I'm not going to really get into how I'm doing what I'm doing here. But let's just say that is hand on thigh, or sit hand on thigh. And so we'll hit save here, and the local library. And we need to add, so we go into manage, add, and we'll say sit hand on thigh. Okay, and it creates that, and now we just save to it, and now we've saved that off. Okay. If we want to delete versions or delete passes or delete versions of these because we don't like them or rename them, then we can use the manage button, and that's a standard interface for managing assets. Left arm has the same same thing. Torso, we have torso poses, stance poses, and again full body poses. Anyhow, I just wanted to introduce poses as a concept to you, so that you understand how you can use them to really speed up your ability to do not just simple full body poses, but even complex overlays and modifications of poses in a way where you're sort of building a library that's useful to you from shot to shot and project to project over time. Okay, so that is poses.